Hello and welcome back, students. I'm glad to have you all here again for the third online class of this second day of the training. I can understand that it has been a long day of learning, but I want to appreciate your dedication and hard work. Now I am looking forward at starting the eighth chapter of the course, and that is about risk assessment and analysis, safety management. In this chapter, we would be discussing about drone emergency and handling. I shall be explaining what are the different types of emergencies that are associated with the drone operation and what could be the possible reasons behind those emergencies that a UAV pilot may encounter during when he is flying the drone. And in this kind of situation, what should be the response from the pilot so that he can handle this critical situation intelligently and ensuring that the people nearby are safe, the property nearby the flying site is safe. So let us start with this session. So what is a drone emergency? A drone emergency basically refers to a situation where a drone or an unmanned aerial vehicle becomes a threat to the people around, threat to the property, or maybe to any other aircraft which is in its vicinity. Or you can say when a drone is under a situation of distress. Distress means it is a condition of an emergency where an accident is likely to happen and a drone needs immediate attention and assistance. So I hope you understand what is basically a drone emergency means, and such emergency may occur due to various possible reasons, and the few among are listed here. It could be uncontrolled drone flight, where a drone has become uncontrollable and a pilot has lost his control over it for whatever may be the reason. We will look into this detail in the next slides. A drone crash could be the another situation of emergency. Adverse weather conditions. Suddenly during the flight, the weather has become so dynamic and threatening that it could take the drone to a crash. So that's why this adverse weather conditions are counted as an emergency, because it could also damage the functionality of the drone, which may, as a consequence, will result into crash. Unauthorized drone use. Many times, a drone may be sighted, which was not authorized to be there in the restricted zone, and now it has entered a danger zone. So this situation should not take place. If you are a UAV pilot, you should not take your drone to the place or a zone which is not authorized to fly. Road interference could be the another reason for emergency, where a drone can be found interfering the aviation safety. So these are the important things which we shall be discussing about drone emergency. We will also look into the procedure to handle as a drone pilot. In any of these events, which are referred here as drone emergency, it is important to take the right actions immediately, so that the harm to the people, property, to the aircraft, to the environment could be minimized, right? And there are some steps which can be considered when a UAV pilot is trying to handle a drone emergency. The number one thing that should be in the UAV pilot's mind is the safety first. And this is what always taught to the pilot during the training. Even the manned airplanes pilot are trained for the situation of emergency, where they are told that in the event of any distress condition, the life of the people should be kept at number one. The pilot should put all his effort first to save the life of the people which are who are likely to get affected with that condition of distress. So it must be ensured that there should not be any harm to the people. Second thing, there should not be any harm to the property, or harm to the property should be minimized. But this is number two. And the third thing is harm to the aircraft should be looked after that. that it should be minimized by the pilot as much as possible. And that is why you see that the pilots, the Navy, Air Force pilots, they all many times lose their life just to save the life of the people, and they do not eject themselves until they ensures that the people and the property is safe. So same goes with the UAV pilot also. If the drone is in the midair and there is a condition of emergency and the pilot has lost the control, he should somehow try to take over the control on the drone with view that people should not get harmed. Then he must try to understand what are the possible reasons due to which this condition of emergency has occurred. If there is any technical failure, or if there is a break in the communication link, command control links, or it is the weather that has took the drone at emergency situation. And after that, if in case the drone is in the public place, pilot must try to secure it as quickly as possible to prevent any further damage or injuries to the people. At the end of the emergency condition, this incident should be reported by the pilot, and there is a proper procedure that a pilot should follow. And then at the last, the pilot should report this incident or an accident, and there are certain ways. There is a method which a UAV pilot should follow. We shall be discussing it. So what are the common drone emergencies that a pilot may encounter? A UAV pilot or a drone. Here are some list of there are common drone emergencies that may occur during the flight. And the number one mentioned here is the loss of command and control. So this could be the one of the reason. Second is flyaways or astray, in which a drone can be seen going uncontrollably in the undesired direction, suddenly rising up or maybe descending down and abruptly going in the undesired directions. So that is what we refer here as stray or flyaway situation for a drone. Then there could be an emergency due to loss of the power. Power here refers to the supply of the current to the drone to function and to all the parts which are on the drone. Then other emergencies could be the airspace incursion, where a drone has entered into flying area where it has become a threat to the aviation safety. So this is also a situation of emergency. There could be a control surface area in the case of the fixed wing UAV or a drone. Maybe any of the control surface, elevator, radar, ailerons has stopped working, and this could be the reason. Collision with the objects could be the another type of emergency where the drone has collided, and adverse weather conditions. So let us first discuss loss of command and control link kind of emergency. This loss of command and control link could take place because of maybe a remote control connection has lost and pilot is now no more able to send the command to the drone's flight controller. So this could be the reason. Another is the GCS loss, that is a connection with the ground control station is lost, and telemetry, the GPS is no longer able to transfer the data for drone's location and navigation. The another reason for losing the command and control link could be that a UAV or a drone has gone out of range, and now there is no more in connection with the pilot. And the last but not least, it could be a situation of power loss, where the battery has now failed to provide the power to the components of the drone which are responsible for its flight. So in these situations, when there is when the command control link is no more functional, pilot can switch to RTL. RTL is a return to launch switch, and if in case RC is not connected, then from your ground control station screen there's a option for it, because the drone is connected to the pilot in two ways. One is through remote control that he have, which helps him to fly manually or in different modes of operation. And if in case it gets disconnected, there is a backup of GCS, non-control station, where ground control station can allow the pilot to enable the RTL option. And switching to RTL means the drone will autonomously return back to its takeoff point and land safely. During the configuration of the drone, a pilot can set the fail-safe feature on in the on mode, which could help the drone to automatically enable the RTL in the case of command control leg loss. Okay. The second condition could be fly away or strain. As I have already discussed the basic meaning of flying away, in which the drone is moving in the undesired direction and no more in the control of the pilot. So there would be various reasons behind it. Let us identify. There may be an issue with the hardware, which is maybe flight control board, GPS, compass, and there could be again a RC failure, and there could be an issue with the software. Software has started generating some errors, and it is not sending the commands to the hardware properly. In this situation, the pilot must first try to control the drone manually. So this is important. He may switch to different modes of operation. There is a altitude hold mode. There is a stabilized mode. He can switch it and then try to control his drone. If it does not work, he has an option to switch to RTA, return to launch either through his remote control or GCS, ground control station. The third type of emergency could be due to the loss of power, and we understand loss of power means the current is no more in supply to the components from the battery, and there could be reasons like the voltage of the battery has reached below the threshold or a critical voltage value, so it is no more able to supply the current. The another reason could be the failure of the power module. Power module consists of in the power distribution board, voltage regulator, and of course a battery is a system of power modules. So there may be some issue with the power distribution board or a voltage regulator. The another reason could be short circuit, where the current is now suddenly started flowing through the circuits in a very undesired direction, and this results can do the overload on the components, and the component breaks down and there could be some reasons behind this short circuit, maybe with the wiring. The wiring is not proper and it is loose, and the pilot may, in the case of short circuit, may observe that there is a smoke or a fire from the drone coming out, and then he can easily understand that his drone has a power issue now and he must actuate some emergency recovery system if it is present in the drone, because every drone does not come equipped with emergency recovery system. Emergency recovery system, one of the example I would like to, this body information, would like to share with you. There could be an option for a parachute landing in your drone as a emergency recovery system. Maybe in the future drones, these emergency recovery system will be made available as the technology is developing fast, and if such power failure, if this power failure occurs, then in that situation, most of the time the pilot does not has a control then, because the entire unit is shut down and it could not operate that drone, and the drone will just fall like a rock or a brick. And after this accident, the pilot should report it on Digital Sky website, that telling them in writing about the detail of the event, the UI number of the drone, the time, and all the details. And they should also mention, in his opinion, what could be the possible reason for this accident. So these were the important common emergencies that may take place during when you are flying your drone, and it is very important that as a responsible and sensible drone pilot, he must take the intelligent decisions, keeping in mind that safety of people should be kept at number one. Okay, and There could be other emergencies also, like airspace incursion. I was correct. Many times the drone has been sighted flying near the airplanes, maybe by sometimes by the drone hobbyists or drone enthusiasts who do not have right knowledge and awareness about tools and regulations, and they just take their drone to the very much height, and then it becomes an obstacle to the and a threat to the real manned airplanes. So this is the problem, and there are certain events where in the history a drone has become a very serious issue. There is one event in the year 2019 at Heathrow Airport. In January 2019, a drone was sighted near Heathrow Airport in the London, prompting the airport to briefly halt flights as a precautionary measure. So the entire flight operations was affected at Heathrow Airport in 2019 January. Another similar event was at Gatwick Airport, where a drone incident occurred in December 2018. A series of drones were sighted near Gatwick Airport in the UK, and this has caused the airport to shut down for over 36 hours, and it has disrupted the entire travel plans of more than 1,40,000 passengers. Another event was at Gatwick Airport, drone incident in December 2018, where a series of drone sightings were there. Another similar event occurred at Gatwick Airport in December 2018, where a series of drone sightings near Gatwick Airport in the UK caused the airport to shut down for over 36 hours. And this has disrupted the travel plans of so many passengers. In the year 2017, there was an event when collision with a Canadian airliner. A drone collided with a Canadian airliner, causing damage to the aircraft's nose and windshield. There was a collision with an army helicopter in 2017. A drone collided with a Black Hawk helicopter near Staten Island, and it damaged its rotor blade and window. Thankfully, no one was injured. Another collision was in 2016. In the month of December, a drone collided with a passenger plane landing at the airport in Mozambique, causing the damage to the nose of the aircraft. We can see here in the image how severe the impact was. So these all were an examples of the drone colliding the aircrafts or a helicopter, and when they have come into the airspace incursion. So in the year 2015, there's another example where a RAF helicopter was just nearly downed by a drone. A report found that the meter-long Desert Hawk surveillance drone and the Merlin helicopter should have been flying in their own restricted areas, but don't know how they came within the feet of crashing. So these are the things that may occur when a UAV pilot is flying his drone and the drone goes out of his sight, and then he enters into a restricted or you can say a danger areas. He may take his drone up into the sky to an altitude which is not permitted to fly the drone at. So these are things should be kept in the mind as a UAV or drone pilot, that airspace, a condition of an emergency like airspace incursion should not happen when you are flying your drone responsibly. These events highlight the potential risks and dangers posed by the drones when they are not properly regulated or operated responsibly, right? And human performance and pilot incapacitation. Now, let us understand about human performance and pilot incapacitation in drone emergency and handling. Human performance means there are some human factors like fatigue, distress, stress, distraction, lack of training, right? A pilot may be feeling tired and because of a very long hours of flight or maybe repeated work with no breaks and no gaps, and he just suddenly has to fly a drone in the same schedule. So a condition of fatigue may occur where a pilot find himself incapable to fly the drone with all his attention, and this can take the drone in the emergency situation. Stress could be another reason. Maybe for any reason the pilot is under stress and his mind is not completely with him during the flying site, and he find himself incapable to fly the drone properly. Because when you are under these situations like fatigue, stress, it affects your performance, and then it can make even the simplest activity into a difficult activity for it, right? There could be a reason of distraction when you are just not completely up looking at your drone and you are just getting distracted with the presence of the people around you and you're not focusing. This could be also the reason of drone emergency or human performance, where human factors affects the safety of the flight. And of course, last but not least, a lack of training can be the another human factor that affects the performance of a pilot. And because during the training you may not be too completely focused at your learnings, and then you are just taking the things for granted and thinking that there's nothing more relevant much to focus on, and you know everything, and just getting yourself into overconfidence, and then you miss the important things during the training, and it reflects in the case of emergency. It reflects into your performance, because lack of training can then push you into a trouble. So these factors can impact a drone's pilot ability to operate the drone safely. It's important to always be alert and focused when operating a drone, and to take breaks whenever needed to avoid the fatigue. If you are feeling unwell, if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling stressed, then it is best to stop and take a break for the safety of the people, for the safety of the property, for the safety of your road, and for your own safety. Because you never want to be under the condition of interrogation and behind the bars, jailed for such crimes where you are not flying a drone with safety and responsibility. So, if the drone pilot becomes incapacitated due to a sudden illness, or maybe you get sudden injury, that time also you should not continue your flight and bring your drone down to the ground as quickly as possible, or you can just switch to return to home function or return to launch. So these were the important factors that affects the safety of the drone flight. And next comes is the fail-safe features. Now, what is the meaning of fail-safe features? Fail-safe features are the features which are designed to minimize the risk of a drone emergency and help ensure the safety of people, property. Some common fail-safe features includes return to home. Return to home is a fail-safe feature where in the event of losing the connection, in the event of the power getting off from the battery, in the event when the course has, when your drone has gone beyond the visual line of sight. Fail-safe features. The fail-safe features are designed to minimize the risk of a drone emergency, and this helps ensure the safety of the people, property. Some common fail-safe features includes return to home functionality. Return to home is again the same where you have lost the connection, there is a low battery, and or your drone has gone beyond the visual line of sight. That time return to home fail-safe feature will automatically get actuated, and it makes the toll to return back and land safely. Okay, this feature is configured in the drone while calibration. Low battery fail-safe feature is there, where the fail-safe can be set with the battery levels, voltage level drops below a certain value, and automatically this fail-safe feature makes the drone to return back and land to its home point. Ground control station fail-safe feature: when there is a communication failure with the ground control station, that wireless connection is no more active, then a drone can get back on due to this fail-safe feature set during configuration. There could be another feature of obstacle avoidance. Every drone does not have it, but it is one of the options within your drone which you can include for its safety, and this will avoid its collision to any object or obstacle, because it will have a sensor which will identify the presence of the object in front end. This will direct its movement to a right direction. There is a fail-safe altitude where a maximum altitude can be set and the drone will not fly beyond that. It is same like how geofencing works. So these were the important fail-safe features that helps, or you can say assist the pilots in the event of drone emergency and handbill. So this was all for this class. Thank you everyone. We shall be continuing the next chapter very soon. Thank you.